Imagine yourself on the shores of Massachusetts in December 1620. The bone-chilling cold and the hollow ache of starvation are turning hope into pure, unadulterated despair. For the first settlers of the Mayflower, this wasn't the promised land. It was a white graveyard. Half of the colony had already perished under the heavy shroud of snow before the winter had even truly begun. But just as the last breath of hope seemed to flicker out, a miracle appeared. It didn't come from a distant supply ship. It came from deep within the frozen, rock-hard earth. The thing that saved an entire future nation wasn't the potato, and it wasn't corn. It was a strange, powerful superfood that allowed the most exhausted bodies to rise from the brink of death. And here is the insane part. That great savior, that liquid gold of the soil, is the very thing we've been taught to pull out, poison, and destroy as a worthless weed for the last 400 years. It's almost laughable. We are actively trying to erase the very thing that gave us the chance to exist. Its name is Apios americana, or the groundnut. The Wampanoag people called it the ground pearls. But today, in modern agricultural catalogs, it's listed as nothing more than a pesky invader. Why? Take a look at the truth they are hiding behind those shiny, waxed potatoes in your grocery store. A potato contains a measly 2% protein. It's essentially starch and water. Meanwhile, the groundnut contains a staggering 17% pure protein. That's not just a statistic. It's a biological shock to the system. It has nearly 9 times the protein of a potato and 10 times the calcium. This isn't just food. It's a perfect bone building for those of us entering our golden years. The groundnut is a perennial fortress. You plant it once, and it persists. It fixes its own nitrogen directly from the air to feed itself, without a single drop of chemical fertilizer. It challenges the entire business model of industrial agriculture. For seed and fertilizer corporations, a self-sustaining plant that is more nutritious than beef and never dies is a nightmare for the bottom line. They cannot sell you what you can grow forever in your own backyard. We have dug through botanical records from the 18th century, covered in dust, to understand why such a superior source of life was replaced by an inferior tuber. The answer reveals a chilling level of economic cruelty. Before we explore the secret of how this plant engineers its own fertilizer and why modern harvesters are terrified of it, I want to ask you something. Will you continue to settle for the starch-filled potatoes they sell you? Or are you ready to reclaim your food sovereignty right from your own soil? If you believe it's time we stop relying on an industrial food system that weakens human health, comment the number 9 right now, because in the next part, I am going to expose the economic conspiracy that turned America's savior into a forgotten weed. To understand why this plant was so vital, you have to look at the ground beneath your feet the way a Wampanoag elder would have 4 centuries ago. They didn't see a chaotic forest. They saw a managed pharmacy and a subterranean granary. The Apios americana wasn't just a random plant they stumbled upon. It was a cultivated treasure. It grows in long, connected strings of tubers, looking exactly like a necklace of dark, earthy pearls. One single vine can lead you to a dozen or more of these high-protein nuggets, all connected by a thin, tough cord. The Native Americans knew something that modern experts are just now beginning to admit. Diversity is the only true insurance against famine. While the Europeans brought over a precarious dependence on wheat and barley, crops that can be wiped out by a single bad storm or a week of blight, the indigenous people relied on the groundnut because it is essentially unkillable. It thrives in the lowlands, along riverbanks, and in the thickets. It laughs at the frost that kills corn. It hides safely underground, protected from the fires that might level a forest. When the Pilgrims were struggling to survive that first bitter winter, it was the Wampanoag who showed them where to dig. Historical records from the 1600s describe the settlers digging up groundnuts to survive when their own European stores had rotted or run out. In fact, for the first 100 years of American colonization, the groundnut was a staple. It was the wild potato of the New World. It was served at the first harvest festivals, roasted in the embers of hearth fires, and ground into flour for survival bread. But as the 1700s rolled into the 1800s, something shifted. The European obsession with order and monoculture began to take over. The groundnut, with its winding vines and its stubborn refusal to grow in neat, predictable rows, didn't fit the aesthetic of the civilized farm. We traded resilience for convenience. And in doing so, we buried the very secret that kept the first Americans alive. Yet, the mystery goes deeper than just cultural preference. There is a biological engine inside this plant that defies everything we are taught in modern botany. A secret hidden in its DNA that allows it to pull wealth out of thin air. If you look at the Apios americana through a microscope, you'll realize it isn't just a plant. It's a self-sustaining laboratory. In the world of agriculture, there is a fundamental rule. To get high protein, you need nitrogen. Most farmers spend thousands of dollars every year on synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, which are petroleum-based and devastating to our waterways, just to force their crops to grow. But the groundnut doesn't need a single drop of that chemical sludge. Because it is a member of the legume family, it possesses a symbiotic relationship with a specific type of bacteria called rhizobium. These bacteria live in nodules on the plant's roots, where they perform a feat of biological alchemy. They fix nitrogen. They literally pull nitrogen gas out of the atmosphere and convert it into a form the plant can use to build its massive protein stores. This is why the groundnut hits that incredible 17% protein mark. While a potato is basically a sugar cube hidden in a brown skin, the groundnut is a muscle-building machine. It contains a complete array of amino acids, making it one of the few plant sources that can truly rival animal protein. But it doesn't stop there. For those of us concerned about bone health and blood pressure, the numbers are even more lopsided. It contains 10 times the calcium of a potato and significantly higher levels of iron and potassium. In a controlled study at the University of Louisiana, researchers found that the Apios americana was not only more nutritious than almost any other root vegetable on Earth, but it was also incredibly efficient. It can grow in soil that is too acidic or too waterlogged for any traditional crop. It is a biological paradox. A high-yielding, high-protein crop that regenerates the soil rather than depleting it. When you harvest groundnuts, you're leaving the soil richer in nitrogen than when you started. It's a net positive for the earth. So, we have a plant that saves the soil, requires zero chemicals, and provides nearly 10 times the nutrition of our current staples. In any rational world, this would be the backbone of our food system. It would be the answer to the skyrocketing costs of meat and the rising tide of metabolic diseases. But we don't live in a rational world. We live in an industrial one. The real reason this pearl of the earth disappeared from your dinner plate isn't because it failed us. It's because its very perfection made it the ultimate enemy of the industrial machine. To understand why the groundnut is missing from your supermarket, you have to look at the world through the eyes of a mechanical harvester. Industrial agriculture is built on one thing: uniformity. The machine demands that every fruit, every tuber, and every grain be the exact same size, shape, and maturity at the exact same time. The Apios americana refuses to cooperate with the machine. Because it grows in those pearl-like strings connected by tough, fibrous cords, it is a nightmare for standard mechanical diggers. Potato harvesters, designed to scoop up solitary, uniform lumps of starch, simply can't handle the interconnected vines of the groundnut. To harvest it efficiently, you need human hands. You need care. You need a connection to the soil. And in the world of big ag, human care is an unnecessary expense. But there is a darker layer to this suppression. The industrial food system is a multi-billion-dollar cycle of dependency. They sell you the seeds that only grow for one season. They sell you the chemical fertilizers because the seeds have no natural resilience. They sell you the pesticides because the monoculture attracts every pest in the county. It is a closed loop designed to keep you paying. The groundnut breaks that loop. It's a perennial. You plant it once, and it comes back every year, stronger than before. It creates its own fertilizer, so you don't need the chemical companies. It has no major pests in North America because it evolved here for millions of years. It is a plant of pure sovereignty. You cannot monetize a plant that gives everything for free and refuses to die. In the mid-20th century, as industrial farming consolidated its power, alternative crops like the groundnut were systematically labeled as primitive or obsolete. They weren't modern enough. University extension programs stopped researching them, and agricultural catalogs dropped them in favor of the big three: corn, wheat, and soy. But the groundnut didn't go extinct. It just went back into hiding. It's still there, waiting in the wetlands and the forgotten corners of our woods, holding the blueprint for a different kind of future. Taking back this knowledge isn't just about a change in diet. It's about an act of rebellion against a system that has spent 4 centuries trying to make you forget how to feed yourself. Reclaiming the Apios americana is the ultimate act of food independence. If you are tired of the rising prices at the grocery store, the tasteless, nutrient-void vegetables, and the feeling that you are just a cog in the industrial machine, the groundnut is your ticket out. Finding it is like a treasure hunt. It loves moist soil near streams or at the edges of woodlands. Look for the distinctive climbing vines and the beautiful brownish-purple flowers that smell vaguely of chocolate or cinnamon in the midsummer. But the real treasure is beneath. When you dig, you'll find those strings of pearls. Now, a vital word of caution for the modern forager. Like many legumes, groundnuts must be cooked. They contain mild toxins when raw that are completely neutralized by heat. But once you boil them, roast them, or fry them like chips, you are left with something extraordinary. The texture is denser than a potato, more like a firm, roasted chestnut. The flavor is nutty, sweet, and deeply satisfying. It's the taste of a time before we sterilized our palates. For those of us in our 60s and beyond, this isn't just a gardening project. It's about legacy. It's about returning to the wisdom that allowed our ancestors to build this nation from nothing. Planting a patch of groundnuts in your yard is a gift to your grandchildren. It's a food source that will outlive you. It's a phalanx against inflation and a fortress of nutrition for your bones and muscles. We have been sold a narrative that we are fragile and dependent on the system for our survival. We are told that without the supermarket, we would starve. But the Apios americana proves that the earth is overflowing with abundance, if only we have the eyes to see it. Education is the only weapon against the suppression of truth. When you learn to identify this weed, you are taking a piece of your power back. The most important technologies on this planet aren't made of silicon and plastic. They are made of carbon, nitrogen, and 1,000,000 years of evolutionary wisdom. They are growing right now, quietly, in the dirt behind your house. The groundnut saved the Pilgrims in 1620, and in a world of increasing instability, it might just be the thing that saves us again. It's time to stop pulling the weeds and start harvesting the pearls. You have been given the knowledge. Now, the question is, will you pick up the shovel? The earth is waiting. Your sovereignty is just a few inches beneath the surface. Go find it.